Welcome back to Twin Flame Psychic 1111. I'm Karen. Thank you so much for joining me here today. So today's reading is about your twin flame union. What is really going on in your connection right now? How do they truly feel about you? What do you need to know from Spirit? We have the 10 of Pentacles. This is a really amazing card. This is about your soul family in the higher dimensions and those that are incarnated in this world at this time. This is your ancestors looking over you. 10 of Pentacles. You are protected. You and your person are so loved, okay? And you're surrounded at all times by this soul family, and there's this really powerful emphasis that your soul family for the longest time was really trying to break through to both of your conscious awareness to make you both really understand that you are so loved. I feel like you've both felt unloved, and it was very sad to the soul family, but at the same time this was like part of your soul agreement that you would come in and feel this way. Don't get me wrong, I feel like many of you have definitely felt loved. This isn't all like doom and gloom. You have very much felt loved. Perhaps by your own family, perhaps by like certain friends, maybe even certain romantic relationships in the past. You have felt loved, but nonetheless it's like you still felt somewhat isolated. You still felt somewhat alone in this world. You and your person, you are very loving, you're very kind, very generous souls. This is naturally who you are. You may have incarnated into physical families where there are family members that are very loving, that you really look up to, that have really been respectful. And this has also like really helped you to be this same way, even though it is like who you truly are as well. These are the souls, the family members or the friends or the people you've met along the way throughout your life are the ones that are very, very close to you on the soul level. And you can just really feel that. But this was like those higher dimensional beings that were really feeling the sadness of you and your person not knowing that you're so loved. You and your person, you're so empathic. I feel like you absorb negativity like really easily, or this was what you were like in the past. You didn't know how to discern who you are from perhaps other people's narratives telling you who you are in negative ways, or just feeling lonely or different. Or I feel like you and your person, you are deeply loved by your family, if it resonates. But there's just this sense of, because everyone's born into this false matrix, nobody knows how to support like light workers or the light within us or the deep feelings of connection, you know. So that is where you and your person really felt kind of alone and isolated, and the feelings of lacking self-worth is a lot to do with being born into this world and not consciously knowing why you feel this way, why you feel so separated, but you felt separated from the divine, from source energy, by being in a forgetful state, the amnesia that we all have to adopt temporarily whilst in human form. in order to prepare the body to then become aware, you know, in such a dense place as this false matrix, this world, the body and the mind has to prepare to become ready to hold more of that light, hold more of that truth. And you and your person, you are these powerful divine sparks. You both have like someone specific, maybe more than one ancestor, like a deceased loved one that you knew, like in this lifetime. You both have like deceased family members, most likely grandparents, but it could be anyone, you know, who springs to mind. Whatever your intuition tells you, it's that person, like watching over you, guiding you. They felt a lot of this sadness. This is the sadness I'm picking up on. It's kind of like your spirit guides and like ascended souls that haven't incarnated perhaps ever or for a very long time on this earth, you know. They have definitely felt like this sadness of you and your person not knowing that you are so loved, but they have a deep, like profound knowing, like a wisdom, that you not feeling loved in many ways or just feeling isolated has made you both go inwards so deeply to connect with a soul family, most likely very subconsciously in the past. But basically those higher dimensional beings like really know like the reasons behind you both feeling so different, and that was inevitable because you are like such higher dimensional beings, you and your person, that you have come here as volunteers. But what I'm picking up on the sadness is like more of like ancestors, like deceased family members, like really surrounding you and your person and your energies and really trying to comfort you and be there for you. This is really incredible. I'm just seeing an image of whoever is like the younger twin flame. The older twin flame had more of, they were watching over you basically when you were already incarnated. We're multi-dimensional beings, so a part of them may have already been incarnated either in another body in this world or in another dimension or on another planet elsewhere basically. But we always have our higher selves like anchored into consciousness, I feel, and you know, very, very high dimension. So this was the aspect of your person looking over you, watching over you, you know, even if, you know, you are the younger twin flame and your twin flame incarnated first, even if you're the younger one, your twin flame's higher self was also always watching over you. This is, you know, the deep, deep recognition upon meeting each other in the 3D. But this is you and your person. Since meeting each other, you're really overall just, you've reached this tipping point. Like this love was the tipping point for you to feel much more stable in your lives. A lot of you feeling alone and isolated was a lot of struggles in this world, because this world, we're all conditioned to not really talk about our struggles, our anxieties, a lot of very, very deep things that need to be addressed. This is like the change in consciousness that's coming to this planet. Like eventually people will be able to just speak more openly about things and not feel so pressured to operate from the false self. And I'm hearing that's why like social media was created, because there was like this knowing that everybody would try and just put this, you know, their best life forward, and it appears on the surface like everyone is amazing, and people don't want to talk about like struggles or challenges because they're fearful that it's going to make them seem like they're failing. So a lot of this stuff isn't talked about nearly enough as it needs to be, but that will be changing on this planet over the next few decades, generations. I feel like a lot more authenticity, a lot more vulnerability. This vulnerability that's been lacking. So I feel like you and your person, you felt very vulnerable, very isolated, because you are very like vulnerable in this world, or this is definitely how you felt. This is why you have a large amount of high dimensional beings, spirit guides, soul family, like watching over you both, because you and your person are here for a powerful purpose. So you've needed a lot of support from behind the scenes, and deep down you and your person have always felt surrounded and held by spirit. It's very much more consciously in your awareness since meeting each other, but this is the tipping point, okay? Whereas you felt very isolated, alone, having to juggle. I'm seeing like the Two of Pentacles, juggling those 2 pentacles, but also like the 10 of Wands, holding a lot of weight, a lot of burdens, responsibilities, but not knowing how to really ask for support or assistance, or because no one talks about it, we can feel like we're failing or we're struggling, but the truth is a lot of people are, they just hide it. So you and your person, especially being empaths as well, like absorbing so much energies, and there's a lot of anxiety, there's a lot of fear in this world. Absorbing all of that added to all of the weight. But now you've met each other, it's the tipping point, because you know you are not alone. You embrace each other completely, you know, you both want that, but it's so much more than you wanting that and being magnetized towards doing that. This is your nature of oneness, and it's really opened the gateways to you just being so much more consciously aware of the soul family that's always been holding you in a fearful, harsh world. Spirit's always been holding you, and now you're both just so much more consciously aware of this, and this is the release of so much anxiety, so much fear, a relief, a huge sigh of relief, knowing that you aren't alone. You are surrendering everything that you've been juggling, everything you've been carrying that wasn't yours to carry. It's like the false collective consciousness of heaviness. You are holding it for so long, like everyone else has been, but you are now putting down these burdens. This is the amazing gift of this awakening. This tipping point is you both moving beyond the veil, shredding this density, and being held in sublime like bliss, euphoria. You're in the heavenly realms. You're consciously anchored into that. You know that that is truth. That is your stability. That is your safety. That is in you being indestructible. This is you knowing that everything's going to be okay. And you and your person, you're just so grateful to each other for this immense, like the most powerful love and support. And you're so like grateful to the soul family as well, because this has really changed your lives. This is what you are both longing for, to feel safe and secure. This is why you felt very insecure in your lives. You didn't feel safe basically, but now you feel so much more safe. Like it's a lot more easier to remember that you're always safe, you're always protected, you're the infinite power of love. In this world, we're in survival mode. You're able to shred a lot of that. Obviously, it's so ingrained within us. It takes a long time to heal that. And we're obviously humans, so we're also going to have an instinct, like a survival instinct. But those that are trying to control the world have really manipulated that, taken advantage of our survival instinct, and continue to trigger that over and over and over and over. So we're always in a fight, flight or freeze. We're always in survival mode. It's a huge distraction. It keeps us blinded. It keeps us asleep. You and your person, like you're rising up so powerfully in love and oneness and bliss since meeting each other. And it's just absolutely incredible. You have so much gratitude to each other and the divine, who have you've all worked together as a team to make this happen. and now you and your person can really get to work. Like, you can concentrate on being that light worker even more, because you're flowing with bliss. Okay, the bliss is flowing out of you. You're strong, you're stable, so you're this powerful conductor, you're this powerful like lighthouse, beaming out so much light from your place of stability, because you are here to anchor stability in a world where we feel all over the place. The stability is the love. Yeah, the stability is the love. Two of Cups. You have each other, okay? This is how amazing your bond is. You feel like everything is okay because you have each other. Even if you're in a physical separation, you know each other's souls so profoundly. You know you are one. You know they are with you. You know the soul family is surrounding you. This love is the stability, the balance. This is what's taking you out of duality with this yin and yang. This duality only exists like this in this false matrix. But you are operating now from way beyond that. You've shred the veil in many ways. You've moved beyond it into oneness. That which appears to be two is one. And that includes you feeling separated from God or Source. That which appears to be two. You're not separated. You're one. Everything is one. There's so much tenderness here, like there's so much closeness. There's so much like you both being so thankful because this is your answered prayer. This is way, way beyond your answered prayer. This is more than you could have ever wished for. Feeling so safe, feeling so secure in the beloved's arms. And the soul family's arms, held within this uplifting, joyous, tender, intimate bond. It's like this warm, fuzzy, cozy, but very, very secure experience. 10 of Pentacles, you just feel secure with each other. I mean, I'm not talking about in the 3D. For some of you or your person, you may feel anxiety is coming in to do with a connection, but it is because deep down on the deep soul levels, this is a secure love. It's just the conditioned mind that fears losing that, because you do feel so secure deep down in your heart and your soul, in your intuition, in your being, your beingness. You know that you are one. This is like the ultimate truth. You know this. It's only in the forgetful mind, the conditioned mind, that some anxieties can come up. But this is so much closeness. This is love absolutely blooming, blossoming, flowing so powerfully within you and through you, out of your hearts, into your hearts, you know? Like, your soul family is so happy. I'm telling you, you've all worked together as a team to bring you both together and to this point, and they're surrounded by butterflies, which is immense transformation. You're both solo. You have the same soul family. There may be a lot of similarities. I'm also hearing a powerful element with this energies here is also there may be a lot of similarities with you recognize within each other, you feel within each other to do with your physical family in this lifetime. Like, you and your person, you resonate because your energies also feel very familiar because of your physical families. But it's all one and the same. Your physical families you've known for a very long time. Some of your family members you may have known for eons, like they're part of your primary like soul group, soul family. So, you know, you feeling like your beloved, it feels so similar, like their energies, who they are, their character feels so similar to your own physical family. It's also because your physical family is a soul family, as is your divine beloved. So for each other, like, your divine partner may remind you of your siblings, of there's something within your each of your character, and again your energies, your essence is very familiar in terms of those family members I talked about at the start of the reading, that you feel deeply connected with, that you feel deeply loved by, that you have a lot of gratitude for, and there is a feeling of immense comfort because they remind you of your physical family. Like, you feel like they could fit in so much, like they'd fit in like a hand in a glove in your like physical family, but with you, with each other, like there's a lot more closeness than perhaps what you feel with your physical family. Like a lot more intimacy, like your hearts are open to each other. I feel like in your physical families, there may be like this pattern of people perhaps not talking from very deep levels. Again, it is because of society as well, though, and this has been passed down from generation to generation. You've both needed deep and true like intimacy, and you found that with each other, and it's making all of the difference. We have the Empress here. So this is interesting because the Empress is normally about, or it can be an aspect of it, about like pregnancy, and then we have like ancestors, and we have babies here, and generations being born. So the Empress, this is about a divine portal as well, like females, feminines, you are a portal, like you are the womb that the divine is born through, like souls are born through the divine feminine, or females I should say, because some men can be the divine feminine energy. Let's clarify this Empress. There's like this high dimensional energy is being born and grounded in this world as well. Like, you've come together, and like all of this love, all of the message, all of the work, because there's a powerful soul plan. Your whole soul family has been working diligently behind the scenes, but also with you, your higher selves, on this plan to be like the messengers, or bringing down the energy of oneness to break free from duality and separation. So through this union, this is being born. This can be birthed, grounded in this world so much more powerfully, because you're much more consciously aware. But let's clarify further. What is this Empress about? Three of Cups. Again, it's that the third energy, the divine energy. Because here's the Two of Cups and then the Three. So two is you and your person. The third energy here is the soul family that you're so much more consciously connected to, can be birthed into this world. The energy is having this powerful ripple effect. This is celebration, okay? This could definitely be a message about children. You could have children. Somebody could be having a child, perhaps. And obviously that's part of soul contract. There could be children involved in this situation. Children may have brought you together. Like, this is all part of like this intense soul recognition, and you and your person coming together, like you really, really recognize each other, because you are like the same soul family, you are the same soul. Let's get one more to clarify this Empress. Here's that 10 of Wands I was mentioning. So yeah, rebirth. You're both in the divine womb. I wouldn't be surprised if a Rumi Oracle card came out at the end, which was about you being supported by a feminine energy. But now that I've said that, it probably won't be. But this is the divine womb. Source energy here. Look at the huge sun in the background. And a dove. Or maybe even two doves, I'm not sure. But this is interesting because in this card, which is the Spiral Tarot, here's the massive sun, but there's also the moon. So that's masculine and feminine energy, oneness again. Yeah, this is like a huge celebration. Like the soul family is so happy. They're like, yes, you finally understand. You finally get it. You're finally getting the message, both of you, that you're so loved. And you always have been, and that you've always been protected. You are protected by them. They are this divine womb, along with you both. You're in this divine womb together. They've always been protecting you. This was like the umbilical cord to the infinite. They're so happy that these burdens are being released, and that you know that you're so loved now. What else is going on that you really need to know about right now? The moon. And look, here's a womb to clarify. Wow. I'm telling you, you've always been protected. In this harsh world, the moon is about fears. It's about the subconscious. Deep down, you've always known, like I said, that you've been surrounded by your soul family in the higher dimensions. And again, some people in your physical family, or people who you've met along the way in this lifetime, are also part of a soul family. Some are like your main soul family, and then others are like, you know, like we can have cousins and aunts and uncles in a 3D. It's like other soul groups, so like part of your soul family, but not like your direct family. You and your person, you are beyond, like, you are direct family, but you are like one, like so powerfully. But again, this could be for someone that a baby's being born. Like if you're with, this could be you. This may be triggering to some, okay? It could be between you and your person for some people, but for some it's like either you are with someone else who isn't your divine beloved, or your divine beloved is with someone else, and perhaps, you know, there could be a child being born. This is like celebration, continuing the family bloodline. This could be like literally your family celebrating a third energy here, you know, two people, and then it turns to three. That could be a possibility if it resonates. The moon is uncertainty, okay? Again, this could be very triggering. Let's say, for example, if your divine counterpart is with someone else and they have a child with someone else, perhaps they could be worried, you know, because the moon is about fear. They could be worried like, oh, are they going to lose you if that was to happen, if they were to have a child with someone else? But no, that's not the case at all. But if that doesn't resonate, then this is again saying that you both are always protected. This is saying you felt very isolated Traditionally, the moon, it's like, it shows two wolves. There's like a river down the middle, and then there's two wolves. Like here there is one, but there's normally two, and they're longing for each other. They're howling at the moon. This was like your soul's calling you back home. The soul's calling you into oneness. It shows two towers normally. This is you both in your avatars and feeling scared to be true and authentic in such a false world. But your souls have been coming out, calling you back into oneness. But there's fears in doing that in this world. We've all been conditioned. This world has been hijacked with all of these fears purposely by those that feed off of lower dimensional energies, those that profit off of like people's fears and insecurities as well, and all things like that. So this world has been hijacked to make everyone feel like they have to hide themselves away. But your love is so powerful. Like, your souls have always been calling out to each other through space and time to come back into immense oneness. And this is you traveling down the path of the unknown. This is you being the anomaly. I'm hearing like that path you're both walking down together now is the path of your true self, your highest timeline. But there is a lot of fears deep down internally. You're walking down this path. You are overall both expressing more of your true authentic self in the world, in your day-to-day lives. But it's challenging, you know. It's not going to be 100%. You're doing that like overnight, maybe never 100%. Okay, this isn't a path about being perfect. So let's look at some oracle cards. What is really going on in your connection? What do you really need to know right now? Just looking at all of the cards. Let's look at these ones. Wow, this is you being held again by the divine. This card talks about this dove having a broken wing, but being nurtured into wholeness. You're both being nurtured into wholeness, okay? The soul family knows that you've both been surrounded by so much darkness. Death and rebirth. This is the duality as well, death and life. Cycles. But everything is okay. Everything will be okay. You've been through these cycles many times before. Again, this could be for some you've reincarnated here several times, or you just know the cycle of transformation, death and rebirth. In other dimensions, other planets, other experiences, you always come back to love. So you're both being nurtured. The divine family is in so much celebration because you're both so much more consciously aware of this. You are these doves. You are this purity. This makes me think of the phoenix rising from the ashes. So again, with this birth as well and cycles, everything's going to be okay. The heavy burden in this world is also the fear of death, which is an illusion. It's just a death of a version of ourselves that leads to a new beginnings. So now that a lot of these fears of survival, you know, you're in survival mode for so long, now you've reached this tipping point, and you're no longer so much in survival mode, because you're now, that umbilical cord has been freed of its blocks. So you are receiving consciously all of this love, support. You're in the divine womb. you're safe, secure, then now you're progressing so much more. You're ready, you know, you're getting eager to spread your wings and spread this peace in this world. This is also like the dove in the Ace of Cups, bringing each other peace into each other's hearts. Bringing peace into this world. Spirit saying, as light workers, you do that by finding the peace within. As within, so without. What's really going on? This is you both felt pressured. You know, like I said in this moon card, it normally shows two towers. That's like the thick walls around you both, that you've been in survival mode, needing those thick walls to feel safe. But it was like a disguise. It wasn't like the real you. This was you trying to conform. Because I'm telling you, it goes back to you both just feeling so isolated. And that was very scary. You were trying to find your way back to source, that sense of belonging. But again, no one's taught how to find that true sense of belonging, which is to reconnect with source, God, the soul family, to connect on deep, authentic levels with others. Like, we're not taught any of this. It's not like a mainstream thing, but it will be becoming more mainstream. So now you're both loved, you're both so held by each other and the soul family that you can surrender the false self. You can surrender the wounds that were causing you both to be a fake version just to feel accepted or like you fit in some kind of way. This is the irony. I feel like you both felt even more lonely if you were surrounded by others but you couldn't be your true self. And others weren't interacting with you from a deeper level. You've always longed for deep, true connection, and you found that with each other. It's a huge breakthrough. You've broken through the veil. You've come to a place of true tenderness, intimacy, and much more authenticity, even if there's fears and intense anxiety, self-consciousness in the 3D between you. This is on the deep soul level. Again, as within, so without. It has to be an internal transformation first and primarily. Masks. It's amazing because this talks about youth, and then there's the old lady here. Youth and old age, because that's what I was kind of picking up with this as well. You know, just the cycles. Again, it's saying you're safe. You've been through these cycles before. Youth and old age. There's something here as well. Again, from deceased family members who've been through this journey on this planet, like you are going through now. They were once young, they became old. But they're surrounding you. Look, this is a 4, the number of stability. Again, this is talking about a duality within you both. You both, like everyone, has a false and true self. The masked side of you, and then the authentic with each other, like on the deeper levels beyond the surface level. You and your person are one. I'm also hearing you've been guiding each other throughout many experiences throughout the universe. Your experiences in other dimensions, planets, etc., etc. This is you observing as well. I see them as like sort of hiding away. Again, this is like you still feel very sheltered. Like you still feel both very unseen in this false matrix. Like you, because it's not like a mainstream thing, it can be challenging to feel safe, to be truly authentic in this false matrix. So this is you both like hiding behind the scenes, but you're together now. Like internally you are together. you feel this deep oneness together, but you're like observing the false matrix. You have this ability to observe. You've always been like this. Like you've always felt like you've been within. You've been holding yourself within and observing the outside world. But your deep, true selves felt lonely. Because at one point it was just one. You felt, or this is how you felt, like there was just one. But look, the eyes, if you go like this eye looks like it's the wrong way round, sort of. Like this eye belongs to this one and this one, even though it doesn't, but yes. I'm not really explaining that properly. So, yeah, you felt like alone for so long. You were always, like I said, deep down feeling the soul family always surrounding you. But you were longing to feel that deep connection with someone who's in human form, you know, even if you're in a physical separation. There's another human who gets it. And not only gets it, they're so deeply connected. They are one with you. You are one together. And now you're like observing together. This is you seeing yourselves and everything from a higher perspective. So this leads to being able to heal yourselves and not be so identified with the false matrix. You're being nurtured into your authenticity. You may still feel pressure to be like the false self, like I was saying. Look, you're putting the puzzle pieces together, seeing the bigger picture. Again, there's a mask here. So feeling pressured to somewhat... It's self-protection as well, okay? Like, that womb is making you feel more secure over time to be able to shine out your truth. More and more, you know, basically just have the freedom to not care what people think. The freedom, surrender and just be who you are. This is happening and it will keep happening throughout your lives, your life. Putting the puzzle pieces together here is like you really learning to love yourselves, I feel. You are fragmented. This is this conditioning. We're purposely born into a world where they've taught everyone to fragment themselves. This means to deny their true self and wear a false mask. So this is like us neglecting parts of ourselves, forgetting parts of ourselves. But now you're coming back together, you're reclaiming who you truly are, and you're becoming a very powerful force. This is also you becoming one with the soul family members. You're all these puzzle pieces coming together. Truthfully, you're one. But in such a low vibration of this world, we have to fragment in order to be of a lower vibration, to be able to align with this planet, incarnate here. And as you're both ascending and awakening, you can hold more of the love and truth. So this is you coming back together with the soul family. Because the Three of Cups is also reconciliation. You've not only reconciled with your beloved, you've reconciled with your soul family. I'm telling you, you both felt so wounded in this world. But now you can really see yourselves. This love, how you're so loved by each other, how you are so encouraged to love yourselves, be your true selves. You adore each other and you are both adored by the soul family for who you really are. There's a lot of empathy, a lot of understanding that you have for each other about these challenges you've been facing. So now you feel so loved. That is a firm foundation where you can start envisioning yourself as you truly are, basically. You and your person, you may have been very imaginative. You've been seen as imaginative, but really you daydreaming was you connecting with your true self. It was you going inwards. that there's also, you know, an aspect of the wounded self creating like a lot of self-criticism. So imagining the worst, you know, having a negative self-image, but the tipping point is you are being empowered. You're like, I can do it, I can do it. The womb is like you healing, the safe sanctuary where you're healing over time. Every step of the way you're rising up, being the highest version of yourselves. But again, it takes time. There's this need to nourish yourselves and nurture each other, and be in that flow state. Like healing happens when it happens. Okay, this isn't about trying to force things. It's all happening naturally. Just be in that divine womb together. It's so wonderful. What else is really going on? What do you really need to know right now? A tall tale. This is a couple of things, or a lot of things, like this is the false narrative we're born into. Told that we are just these humans, that when we die, we die. Or even religions have been hijacked with a lot of very, very unhelpful beliefs. But a tall tale is also our false selves. Sometimes we feel so scared to be who we really are that subconsciously, out of that survival mode, we create a false self, and then we end up feeling so empty inside. Or maybe not inside, because you and your person, you're so deep, you don't feel empty inside, but it's like you're realising this surface level feels so empty and redundant. It's no longer working, is what I'm being shown. The false matrix is no longer working. People are no longer aligning with that, because the depth of everybody's souls is coming on board. So eventually, everyone will look around at all of this falseness, fakeness that's highly promoted, especially these days in this world. All the fake synthetic foods, all of the fake filters, all of the fake, oh, my life is amazing, it's incredible, that we see on social media. Now all of this fake AI stuff. There needs to be a saturation of this fakeness for us all to feel that is so hollow and so unfulfilling, to the point that we all turn inwards to rediscover the infinite depths within. You and your person, and this isn't anything to blame yourselves about. This isn't a condemnation whatsoever, but you and your person created this false self, a tall tale. We have Pinocchio here. A false self so much that you ended up imprisoning yourself in that false self, because when you interact, and you didn't know consciously that you're doing this, and everyone's been taught to do this subconsciously in this world. It's the survival mechanism. But when you have been interacting with everyone with different sort of masks, different false versions, to feel safe, to protect your inner world, to protect your heart, because you felt so vulnerable, it's become your prison. And this is why I felt lonely inside as well, very much so. You were yearning to just feel safe and secure, to be your true self, and that is what you found with each other. in a deep, deep way, like you've anchored in, like the deep aspects of you and your person have anchored into oneness. Again, on the surface level, there can be fears. There can still be feeling this pressure somewhat to be a false self, to come forwards as always like your best self, because you fear rejection. But deep down, beyond those insecurities, you have anchored into oneness together. And this is what you are always wanting and needing. Deep, true connection. To be deeply, truly loved. Unconditional love. To be adored. To feel safe. To be who you really are. The land between. I'm seeing this as duality. You've bridged the gap. You are one. It's pulling you together. I'm imagining like continents colliding, you know, tectonic plates colliding, and I even saw like a volcano, which is like the deep core of yourselves bursting forth in an erupting volcano. This is the repressed, like everyone's been so repressed. It's like the true selves, the soul, the divine, dying to break free and be expressed. It's been so repressed that it's coming out so powerfully now. True self. I'm telling you, the more the false matrix moves into all of this fakeness and AI and shallow relationships, all of these things we're seeing like in the collective for certain people, but we're also seeing other people, they've already become so tired of that. They're already shifted and shifting so much more into their true self, longing for depth. And this is what we're going to want all the more. People are going to get so sick and tired of all the fakeness and becoming robotic, you know. People are going to start really appreciating genuine authenticity, things that are real, things that are deep and hold deep meaning. It's like all of this junk is coming in, but it is to push overall for people to strive for deeper meaning, like eventually, because the more fake it becomes, the more we're gonna feel deep down our soul even more oppressed. But our souls by design are always expanding, so the more we're repressed, the more the soul is pushing against that, and it is going to erupt like a volcano, like love erupting, almost like the Ace of Cups overflowing as well. Duality is moving back into oneness. Exposed and revealed. It's going to take a lot of vulnerability. This is what you and your person are powerfully learning together in this beautiful, amazing bond. You're learning vulnerability because that is needed in order to come out from the walls and the masks. This is also why a lot of things are being exposed and revealed in the world. Like, I think everyone is already getting sick of so much fakeness. So everyone deep down is longing for authenticity. That's why the truth is manifesting. The truth is coming up. And it's also because higher dimensional beings are all working together as a team. With the collective, with light workers, to have this breakthrough of light, the veil dissolving, the truth being exposed and revealed, the truth of that there's so much more beyond what we're told reality is. There's so much beyond the cage we've been born into and manipulated into creating ourselves with this feeling of I must create a false self, I must always come across as perfect and my life is great. moving beyond that into true authenticity. It does mean the shadows, the fears, the anxieties is going to come up in that process. That's also why we have the moon card. But you're both moving down that path of fear. You're moving through the fear to be more authentic. Again, it takes time. And as I say, it takes time. We have time machine. This is so interesting because I talked about cycles, and there's a lot of emphasis here about death and rebirth and ancestors who've been through this cycle. Time machine. This is like rapid acceleration in awakening, I'm feeling. But let me clarify this time machine. The uncharted sea. Yeah, this is portals opening. Moving into the unknown, which is what that moon card is about as well. Just looking closely. I was like, is this a clock or a compass? There's a compass here as well. It's like secrets are being unlocked, secrets are being unveiled to the whole world. Uncharted sea, you know, what is it, like 90%, 95% of the ocean's been unexplored, roughly, is unknown. There's like a doorway. I just saw, like, you know, like the Truman Show, like a dome over us. Some people say that's like the firmament, if they believe in flat earth. I'm not saying I necessarily believe in that, but I just saw an image of a dome over us, and this just made me think of like those final scenes in the Truman Show where he reaches the edge of the dome and realized that he's in this encased world, so to speak, and then there's a doorway that he moves through into the truth. This is what's happening on a collective level, because we're ready. There needed to be time and many generations to prepare for this moment. That's why a lot of light workers wanted to incarnate right now, because it's like that tipping point for the collective from the work of all of the patterns and cycles and previous generations. Now it's time to